What is happening, everybody? Welcome to Off the Rails, a recovery podcast dedicated to ending the stigma of addiction through open discussion on all things recovery related. My name is Mark. With me always are Dave and Jared. And today we're shooting sober shit. Fellas, how was your week?
Stop it. Sorry about that interruption there. It's early morning shooting the shit today. So coordination's a little off. I hit the cord.
Dude, I'm focused this morning. Didn't even phase me.
No, didn't even die. Oh, okay, good. Nice.
I'm a morning person now.
You are a morning person, eh? You love it.
Yeah.
You get up like earlier than I do most days, and you're 2 hours behind.
I'm trying to get up 4:45 every morning, man. It's tough, but
Really?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Do you still get to sneak your naps in?
No.
No.
Naps are limited nowadays, but it's all right. I just go to bed super early and
Nice.
Yeah,
It's good. J-Rock, how was the week?
Oh, it was awesome.
that's good, man.
I hit up like 3 meetings this week so far.
Nice.
Getting back in that. The consistency, it feels good. I met with my sponsor and started to go through the big book. So that was pretty awesome. What else? Went to in Kingston, we have this festival, the Buskers. It's like a bunch of tricks and magic.
Buskers.
Yeah. You know what the Buskers are probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it's awesome. My daughter loved it. She's like, I want to go back to the magic show. So that was pretty sweet. It's funny, we were down there and this guy that was super hammered at like 6:30 came up to me and Bree and he like couldn't even stand. And he's talking to Bree. He's like, I used to play hockey with your brother or something like that. And he just kept going on. And then he started swearing in front of my daughter. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like, I'm so happy I'm not one of these people. I felt more embarrassed for him than anything. But yeah, other than that, went to Ottawa yesterday. Met up with Bree's brother, surprised him because he's just home from the military for the weekend. And went out for lunch, then just toured and took my daughter to Build-A-Bear.
Sweet.
Built her own bear, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's weird how things change. The highlight of your life now is watching your child happy. She definitely made me happy this week. I think even my change in mood, she was in a better mood. So yeah, things are on the come up again. Getting back to myself. The meeting with the sponsor though, was pretty sweet because I realized that I wasn't taking sobriety as serious as I should have been taking it and putting in as much work as I should have been. So I'm excited to just put in lots of work and become my best version of myself. And
awesome,
as it says it, be happy, joyous, and free, which I wasn't the last couple of weeks.
I haven't heard that one. Be happy, joyous, and free. That's sweet.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Mark?
Dave?
Alan?
Yeah, my week was pretty good. No complaints, really. Just like a pretty standard week. Soup kitchen, meetings, podcast, hanging out with the baby. I haven't been journaling a lot, and I noticed that like I was a bit off the last like 3 days. So I was kind of just like depressed and didn't really know how to deal with it. Didn't want to journal. Anyway, this morning woke up, journaled, instantly started to feel better and kind of planned out my day and what I wanted to get accomplished. And I wasn't doing that the past couple of days. So I find that really helps, man. Other than that, pretty standard week. Still waiting to get my bike.
Oh no.
I really can't wait to get it. I booked a trip to Ottawa for August. Got a ticket to go to a WWE event, so
Oh yes,
I'm
guy.
pretty stoked for that.
Do you want to meet up?
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be sweet. There's a WWE event in Kingston too, at the same time. So
Is there?
yeah, our couple family friends, a couple of my friends, they're taking their son to one. So they asked me if I wanted to tag along, and absolutely I do. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a blast. Yeah, man, had a good week.
It's awesome.
Mhm. My sister's coming to visit soon on 14th, I think. So looking forward to that. Her and my niece.
Cool.
Gonna be a pretty sweet visit. Dave?
Yeah, man, my week was kind of standard too. Like, I don't know, same. Just going through, just worked a little bit, which was nice. Trained in the grocery store a bit. Yeah, I spent some time just kind of cutting up the 50th episode, trying to put a little more TLC into that episode. Just because I felt it was important with those fine people we had on. And yeah, man, I was kind of like, I was real tired and out of it one day. I think it was like Monday, maybe. I can't remember what day it was, or Thursday. Like I was gonna go for a bike ride or do a workout. I didn't have any energy. And the good thing was, like, normally I'd really beat myself up about it, like about being a lazy, prick. But I was kind of like, I don't know, I was maybe fighting something because I was feeling like a little off, like just like physically and everything. So I was like, you know what, just kind of rest and whatever. It's not a big deal if you don't get that in. And yeah, I have a question for you guys. So I was just thinking about this morning. So it's not like a question. It's a question, but like it's more based on kind of like my experience at the store. So there's an LCBO. For people who don't know, LCBO at like the convenience store I work at inside, and I got to sell booze to people. And I was just thinking, like, going into it, I don't know how this is going to be. Is it going to create cravings or what? And so far it's been totally fine. I haven't felt anything of wanting to drink or anything like that. And I don't know. So my question is, I don't know if it's because, like, I always had a pretty good separation boundary when it came to like work and drinking. Like I never drank at work, or when I coached, I never drank. I was fortunate that I never really crossed those boundaries. So I don't know if it's because I'm working, I kind of can separate it. But then the other thing I was thinking, like, is it a good thing that I can have the separation and be around it? And now when I'm selling to people, I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, oh man, that's poison. Like that stuff's poison. Like you shouldn't be drinking that. So like, I almost wonder if you think it's like almost like a good way to get over, like you're kind of putting yourself around it to give yourself experience of being around it. I know it could be a slippery slope, but like I haven't had those triggers. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on kind of that? Like you put yourself around it, and is that kind of a good way of getting over the socialization too, of like maybe it's like helps you kind of evolve into more comfortable with being around people that are drinking or being around the booze? I don't know.
I find, like, with myself, it took me probably 8 months to even be around anyone that was drinking in general. I don't know. I felt when I was started like going to golf tournaments or hanging out with friends that were drinking, and I felt, I don't know, pretty sweet that I could be around it and not even crave it at all. But the first time was hard. Like I was had lots of anxiety and my face felt red the whole time.
Yeah.
That. But that situation with you, I think that's pretty cool because you're actually like selling it to them. It's different than being around people drinking, right?
Yeah. It's not quite the same. Maybe it kind of gives like a fake facade of being okay with being around it, but then because they're not drinking or anything. And I will say, most of the people I've been selling to, it's not like people I would hang out with anyways. Like, I was never a big fisherman. The guy's going fishing or whatever. So like, I don't feel like I'm missing out or anything like that either. I don't know.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, I think it depends where you're to in recovery, honestly. Like I
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't recommend doing that like early on, hey.
No, yeah.
Right? Just because like you could just take like one quick second or you don't play the tape through or whatever. Kind of relating it to myself right now with the soup kitchen and like
Yeah.
how I don't know. Yesterday I seen someone smoking crack the other day, and like not that that was my drug of choice, and I seen someone like shooting up, and uh, again, not my drug of choice, but I still like that watching them get high and stuff. Like I think early on in recovery that would have been like super triggering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think being around it, you kind of get to like see the negative side of it too, right? And I don't know. I find it's been really helpful in my recovery now because I'm like I don't ever want to go back to a situation where I'm using or whatever, right? I don't know if you feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. When I'm selling it to them too, and they're just like spending all this money on the booze, I'm like, oh man, it's so nice not to have to like
Yeah.
take this money out of pocket to fucking buy a case of beer or buy this bottle, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like rewarding as well. But
And it's cool. I think it's kind of cool too because you get to look at that negative side of it without seeing like there are positive, like you can look back and see like the cool shit or like I find the drinking thing hard to look at too because like you don't really like when you go out and see people drinking, you don't normally see like the dark side of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Right?
yeah,
Like you don't see people when you see people drinking, you don't see them like isolating by themselves at their house or whatever, right? Like that you don't see them hiding bottles. You don't see, that like dark side of addiction when
yeah,
so I think drinking's hard in that manner. It's like for the most part, when you see people out drinking, they're having a decent time, right?
yeah, true.
But I don't know what I'm saying. I'm kind of rambling here.
No,
No,
yeah, that's a good. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Unless you stay out too late and you're out there at 2 o'clock in the morning, you see some real negative sides of it for sure.
See people throwing punches at each other. Just
usually I was in that mix though, or just avoiding conflict. Somehow skating my way through.
That's gold, man. That's a good point though. That's a good question.
Yeah, I agree though too. Like early on, I would say like definitely not a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still early on, but I mean like early on.
Oh, like a month in? Not a chance.
Yeah.
Dave, do you remember when we were first like real early in recovery? You would call me and we'd talk like how you just start to not notice driving by an LCBO or whatever.
Yeah.
So
which is crazy.
That's killer.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because I used anyway.
So how did you find the reunion episode?
That was cool, man.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well.
It was fun.
Love all three of them. Incredible humans. I'm very proud of them. And I'm super, super grateful they joined us.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was cool to have them on.
And that just makes recovery even sweeter because all the time and when we were in rehab, counselors would say there's probably going to be two of you that in this whole room that stay sober. And that just proved them wrong right there. There was 6 on that screen last week. So I thought that was awesome.
Well, I always wondered about that stat too. They would say sometimes, I can't remember what it was exactly about relapse, but like they would say like whatever the percentage was will relapse, but like there was no like.
I didn't think it was 2.
Was it not 2?
Yeah, I thought 30% of people, right?
Oh,
were likely to relapse.
Okay.
That was,
but it was like,
and that's a good rate too, honestly.
But then it was like,
what's 30%? There was like 10 of us, so 30% of that's 3. So,
yep.
Still out on top there.
Mm-hmm.
Just on that relapse thing though, I was curious on like on what that style looks like, because like relapse, I mean, everyone has a different, I mean, there's a big debate in one of the group sessions about
Lapse.
slips and relapses and all that stuff. So like, does a relapse count as like, someone having a night where they, get drunk and then they like get it back together and they're totally fine for another, for the rest of their life or 10 years or whatever? Does that still count towards that percentage, or is it someone that's relapsed and then not, and then continue in their using patterns, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, we had this debate a lot. I think it's escape, man. Like you say a lapse is like a single use, but like if I were to go for a single use, it'd be like for 4 days. Right?
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with the lapse. I think a relapse. I think it's just if you use again or get drunk again, then that's a relapse, right? And that's how I think of it, anyways.
Yeah.
Because I know if I lapsed, I definitely wouldn't be able to pick myself back up right away. I would be going on a pretty good tear.
Remember what I said though? Nathan said he was going to use it. Because I said like it's all semantics. What we're like kind of talking about with the word, like just wording. It's like, so if Mark and Jared, if your interpretation of lapse is really relapse, right, having one or two, then maybe recognizing what's before that, is it your mind, is it your like thought process? Maybe that's your lapse then, like, or maybe it's like putting yourself in a situation, so maybe everyone's like lapse and relapse is a little different, right? Like, so just maybe not qualifying like a drink as, you say it's a relapse having like 2 drinks and someone else says it's a lapse. Okay, if you say having 2 drinks is relapse, then what's your lapse then? Like putting yourself there or like being around it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So just kind of changing that narrative a bit, I guess.
Sweet point.
Felt like it was a bit of a ramble, but
I don't think so. Yeah.
You guys got any questions today?
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you want to hear it?
of course.
Okay. Where in your life do you still witness patterns of your addiction?
Want me to start this one?
Absolutely.
It's a good question, by the way.
Thank you.
I feel like those are like your character defects. So,
Someone's working the steps.
no, but lately, I was even talking about this at a meeting, and I've noticed that a lot of my traits from when I was actively drinking and being completely offside have been starting to come out being sober. And that's another reason why I realized I need to start working on the steps and, I don't know, kind of a new design to live my life, because I don't want to be like that's what, like being a dry drunk sober, all your traits are coming out when you're sober, those bad traits. So I've been kind of treating Bree like shit some days, just not being a nice person sometimes. And that's just not who I am. I think it's just a lot of stress. And I think it's the summertime, having like different thoughts in your head. But yeah, that's like a reason why I'm in therapy, to try to fix it all. Because I never thought, when I first got sober, I never thought all that stuff would come out when I'm sober. I thought it was just drunk, but it's actually like I don't know. It's kind of like, it was so long of being a drunk like that, and all these bad things and things you were doing and being negative and just being a shitty person were just ingrained in your mind. So it's hard to just erase them completely. So I was doing really good. I was And then I had that little depression for a couple weeks and just turned into a complete dickhead. Um, so that's a good question. And I think it's really weird how they come out while you're sober trying to become a better person. But I guess they're ingrained into you and you gotta really work to get rid of them. So yeah.
Rent's due every day, as they say.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. For me, I still know sometimes like sort of like I'll get like an example of like still like chips or something like that. Like as simple as that is like going into town to stay at my sister's and then like I'll go and get a bag of chips and like I know I'm gonna feel like shit and I know it's against like what I'm trying to do and being healthy and I'll still do it. I know I don't even want it, but so I relate that a lot to like how I was towards the end of drinking too. Is like I know this is fucking, I want to quit and whatever, but I'd still, still drink. So I find that a little bit with some of those bad foods for you, I guess. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's not probably the worst thing in the world. Minor complaint, really, I think. And even that's getting better, So, hey.
Proud of you, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right
I'm
on.
jealous.
Well, no, it's not like everything else in my life is perfect. I was just using that as an example of like kind of like my cravings that I used to have for alcohol and my addiction would be, I wouldn't say it's a cross addiction with like junk food and stuff like that. It's just like I just noticed those kind of patterns I used to have, or there's still some similarities in that stuff. But
Yeah. That's kind of I got a little
It's a cool concept.
I think. I find one pattern would be like when I'm depressed or whatever, I start feeling like sorry for myself and shit. And I'm like, you should just use. And like, I get in that like addictive mindset where like I'm talking to myself and I'm like, you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And one thing I like when I'm depressed, I eat like shit too, man. I just don't give a shit anymore. And that's like, I'm like, let's get some takeout, whatever. Stop journaling. And I go down this like rabbit hole where I'm like, it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. And it's pretty crazy because it does matter. And I don't know, that's definitely one thing. Like, cause like I used to be so depressed in my active addiction that I'd just be like, let's just fucking use all the time. But I dealt with it. I woke up this morning, journal, feeling better, talking about it.
nice.
That's pretty much it for me. I obsess over things. I guess Christopher in our episode, he talks about how like sometimes recovery can be addicting. And I found myself relating to that a lot. Like I do talk about recovery a lot. It's pretty much a lot.
That's a good one though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a great thing.
Like it's a positive addiction.
Yeah, it didn't put a hole in my face. All right. Yeah, so I do have another question. This one's deep.
Ooh.
Unless you guys got another question.
No, you go, man. I like your questions this morning.
I can't take credit for these. I took them right from my journal book.
That's okay. Dialed in.
If you died today, what would you regret not saying or doing?
Oh man.
Oh, ooh.
Oh. Mark, you want to go first?
Me?
Well, if you got an answer, yeah. Go.
My answer is pretty generic. I believe that I would regret not telling the people in my life that I love them more and how much they mean to me. So, gentlemen,
That's-
thank you guys. Love you guys. You guys mean the world to me. You guys mean the world to me.
Hey, that's that.
Love you.
That I have a question for you on that. Almost on that. That's a good. I will say though, like I've been telling people I love them a lot more than I ever did before. Like
Yeah.
even like buddies and stuff, I'll use that. And I think they think I'm crazy or something. And I'll like obviously with you guys we do that, but like guys that I've never said I love you to before, I'll text them, love you, man. Or
And
okay.
I do the same thing. And there's nothing like, it's only uncomfortable if they make it uncomfortable, right? There's nothing like, I don't know, who doesn't like having that said to them.
No, I know. It's just, but you never used to do that before, did you? Yeah. So.
Not a chance, but I don't know, man. I think when you become like more aware of your emotions and more comfortable,
Yeah.
you're able to express them better, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'd probably say the same thing on that one is maybe, same sort of thing, you know, telling family, telling people, maybe communicate that a little bit more to them. But that being said, I think I'm been better than I had been too. So
that's growth.
that's growth, man. That's growth. And Jared, and
Jared, same question.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, but I would definitely regret not saying I love you more, but I feel like I do say it a lot, but I don't think it's ever enough. So yeah, other than that, I don't really, I try not to regret. I don't know. That's a hard question.
I'm coming with goodies at 6:30 in the morning.
I guess I would I don't know. I'd have to sit on that one for a bit.
All right. Well, I'm asking you again next week.
Okay.
And I find one thing that I do, it kind of just popped in my head. One thing I find I'm hardest on people that I love the most, like I give them the hardest time. And I'm really trying to work on that because like there's absolutely no reason for it. Or and I don't know why I do it, man. Like it rots me when I look back and I'm like, why are you mean to someone that you love? Right. And I beat myself up a lot over that. And I don't know why I do that. If you're a psychologist, come on, hit me up with the.
Yeah, I tend to do that a lot too, Mark. Like, especially to Bree. I'm like, she deserves like the nicest person ever because I put her through hell to begin with. And when I'm mean to her, do something like that, I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of makes it, and then you beat yourself down about it. But I think that'll just come with time.
Absolutely.
Do we need to get a psychologist on next week?
I would love one.
Analyze my brain. So are you going to go give Bree a big smooch and tell her you love her after this episode?
Oh, I try to every minute of every day.
Okay, good, buddy.
Oh,
Sweet.
I know how you could try to go wake her up.
She's awake. I went and got her a coffee this morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Boy.
You know, me and my one buddy were talking about this last night, and I don't know. She wants me to go get her a bag of chips at 11 o'clock. I'll go do it. I'll say yes, dear, because that put her through hell. So it's a yes, dear.
What type of chips?
I think last night was salt and vinegar.
Nice. Miss Vicky's?
No, Lay's.
Oh, well, Miss Vicky and salt and vinegar.
I'm not a salt and vinegar person. Have you guys, you know what is the best? Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar chips with cheese curd. Weird combo, real good.
Yeah, really strange combo. I'll try it. I'll definitely give that a shot. If you
Yeah. Give it a shot. Tell me.
So have Have you seen some lady was in the store the other day and said that they're getting chips? I told her I was a big chip guy, and she was like, that's my pickup line, I guess. She was like, oh, have you tried the Miss Vicky's ketchup? I didn't know there's Miss Vicky's ketchup. She said they're real good. I was like, oh, I haven't seen those.
They are good.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the spicy Miss Vicky's spicy dill pickle. Is that
Oh,
Oh,
I can't handle those.
no? It's too spicy?
Those are too much for me.
I got a question for you guys.
All right.
Oh, Dave, did you answer that question?
I don't even remember what the question was anymore.
Or did you just slip right out of there?
Oh, yeah.
What was the question?
Did he?
Yeah. What if you died today? What would you regret?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, you did? I must have been off in space. I got a question. How are you guys handling the friends you don't have in your life anymore?
Oh,
That's
a good question.
That's a
Or-
good question. And
Or
no.
friends that don't reach out at all because I don't know.
I was just thinking about this the other day actually, and how my mindset's like way different towards this. And before I used to be, when I let's go back to like when I was living in Barrie, I very much wanted to be like, having a few drinks and like contacting people, like what's everyone doing? And if like someone didn't want to do something, it's like, well, what's going on? Like, why not? Like, if they're busy, it's you kind of get pissed off. Now I'm like, I do not care. Like, I'm like, I have I have some good buddies that live in different cities. I have you guys I talk to. As far as hanging out with, some friends, I don't really do a whole lot of that, to be quite honest with you here. And like, I'm actually like totally comfortable and fine with it for some reason. With, I'm just like, at the same time, if someone called me and wanted to go golfing, I would. And I haven't reached out to some of my buddies, but I don't know, just my mindset on that whole, I felt like before I was like needing other people, maybe it was, and that's same with kind of like my relationship, need other people to make me happy, where now I feel like I'm much more in control of that and make myself happy, I guess is probably the bottom line to it. But so, yeah.
I think I would like to just copy paste Dave's answer, man. That was awesome.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that was really well said. Yeah, I just like, I don't know. I don't take it personally if I'm like not, I guess, reached out to. Most of my friends live back east anyway, so like they're not gonna invite me to go do shit. But I still got good friends that check in on me and they'll like randomly throw me a message, and you don't gotta talk to them every day to know that they're, still not boys with them or whatever. Yeah, you guys talk to every day. You guys are great. Yeah, man. I don't really, same thing as Dave. I don't like have any boys here, so I'm not out like doing shit with friends. But I'm fine with that, man. Like I'm happy with my life right now, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna make friends here. But again, I'm not really worried about it. It'll come naturally, I think. What about yourself?
Yeah.
Same thing. Like I'm happy with where I'm at. I don't want to go out and do anything. I'm just happy spending time with my family and going golfing the odd time or something. But I do sometimes get down on myself. And I'm like, because I did have lots of friends and now I might have two. So like every friend just kind of dropped off the face of the earth and I've never really heard from them. Especially like with my wedding coming up and stuff. It's a little bit different than I imagined it, but I think I enjoy it. But sometimes I get like, I'm just like, I wonder what, like, was I just like a drinking friend, or I get like questioning. So I'm like, it's weird. Like you're best friends with them from high school and then they just randomly stop talking to you for completely because you're on a different path, I guess. So
But is that a little bit to like your benefit though too, in a way, like where if they were constantly contacting you, like if they were, I don't know if they were big drinkers or anything like that, but like if they were constantly, calling you to go out and, maybe they're, maybe giving you some space early on was actually like a blessing. And, now
Well,
that
no,
you're,
I talked to them all like early on after I got out, but not, and then it just kind of dropped off. I was like, but I don't really care that much. It's just sometimes I get in my own head and I'm like, what the, like, that's weird. Did that friendship, was that just like a drinking friendship? I kind of like start thinking like that, right?
yeah,
But I don't know, I'm starting to make new friends and got you guys, which is a great gift in sobriety. And yeah, I just sometimes question things in my own head, get in my own head too much.
yeah,
I agree
that's
with
fair.
I agree with you there, I think.
Yes,
Because there are friends that, man, that's the only thing you had in common.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
It's tough. It's tough to swallow, but like when you look outside of that activity, then you're like,
What were you really doing?
yeah. Right?
well, it's the same too. It's like I like I had a lot of like parents, let's say I coached, or like they came to the rink and would act like their buddy come bring me a coffee or whatever when I was managing the rink. And then like as soon as I don't really have any pull for them or anything, like I don't hear from them anymore, you know what I mean? It's just like it was obvious that I was like just kind of around. And maybe that's not quite fair because like I'm also in a different city now, but like they're not gonna contact. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this part out.
Leave it.
Guys, you want to wrap up this episode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
All right. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please reach out and ask for help. Please like, subscribe, share, and follow us on social media. Thanks for listening, guys.
Throw some questions in the comments.